Hey,
Yeah,
yo.
you know, I got my part.
Yo, welcome to the
Hello.
Base Podcast.
Welcome to the Base
Yes,
Podcast.
What's going on? This is
welcome,
the
welcome.
Base Podcast. We got Miss Clarissa here with us. You see Boom. We got Big Tone. We got J Cam. We rocking everybody. This Clarissa. It's good.
Hello.
Hello.
So look, Clarissa, we gotta talk about some things. You know what I'm saying? We've been at it already, so I'm a little fired up. I'm gonna let you kind of catch up a little bit. So pretty much we're talking about, right? So we actually had this discussion, and we're talking about men and women dating, right? So the whole dating stage, and in the beginning, first of all, I want to hear from you on how important it is to communicate, right, what you want in the beginning. But then secondly, what's your thoughts on when men tell women, let's just see where it goes? What you think about this?
Okay, so I kind of have two answers to it because personally, I've never been told, like, oh, let's see where this goes. I feel like if I actually heard those words, I would not see where it goes. I'd probably run because to me, that would instantly be like, oh, he's just trying to play games with me. Like no. But my opinion on it, like I said, that kind of goes with what I just said. I feel like that kind of, to me, signals like, oh, you're not serious. You're just trying to see what you could benefit from this. You're not actually trying to see where this goes. I feel like that's not something that you really say when you're serious about somebody or if you're actually looking for something serious. I mean, I would never say that to a guy. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What y'all think about that, man?
I agree, and we spoke on this a little bit before. I agree. It's like when you use them type of words, now it's about fun. I'm not gonna take you serious. Like there's nothing serious about. Let's see where this goes. Like your intent already when you said that already to me is like, all right, this is just gonna be fun. We're gonna see if we can have fun together, but it's nothing serious. So I agree.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm gonna disagree.
Of course.
I do too. Because I mean, it's the beginning.
but before y'all go, but we spoke on this before. It's like, okay, if I'm dating you, like, yes, we don't know each other. We have this process. We have to learn each other. Absolutely. But I'm trying to just date you. I'm not speaking to 4 or 5 other women. I'm trying to really get to know you. But if I come and start this date off by saying, let's see where this goes, my mindset already is like, okay, we're just gonna see. Like, if it's fun, it's just fun. Like, let's keep it fun. But my intent of really trying to see where this goes, I don't think is at the forefront. So I agree. Like, I just think the lingo, the language, and how you word it could come off.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with what you just said. There's two completely different ways to say it because just like you said, it's different when you're actually dating somebody and like you said, you're making it very clear that you're only talking to that person, you're only putting your time and your energy in them. No shit, you're going to see where it goes. That's not really something you have to actually say, but I feel like I just said if I was dealing with a guy and he's like, "Oh, let's see where this goes. Bye." No.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a point.
I already know where you want this to go, and that's it. Oh.
And so you brought up another point, right? So you said pretty much you know where he wants to go. That's in your pants. And so if that's the case, are you saying you would rather men say that up front?
Yes.
And so yes, right? And so
Yes.
and
You
so,
have had so many talks about this.
yes.
I'm like a very, very open book. Like even when I go on a first date with someone, like I say like everything that's on my mind, like my intentions, everything, because again, maybe people aren't as honest as me. I just feel like there's no point in playing games with somebody. Like it's okay if somebody wants to go out and have fun. They're not looking for something serious, but say that. My problem with I feel like a lot of people do is they don't. It'll be somebody that's trying to just look for fun but they get involved with somebody that's trying to be serious. You know, it's like there are plenty of people out there that are trying to just have fun too. So I don't understand the point of trying to do that with somebody that's not on that same path as you. That's what I don't respect, and that's what I have a problem with.
So Clarissa, you say so you get straight to the point on the first date.
Mhm.
That's what you say. You just get straight to the point, like before eating and everything. Just y'all just go at it to see if you gonna still be sitting at that table or not.
Well, for okay, I'll give you like an example. Like I've talked about with you, Cedric, before. Like, okay, if somebody's asked me, like, "Oh, what do you want?" It's like, "Oh, well, I do want to get married one day. I do want to have kids." Like, I'm not the hook. I literally say this. I'm like, I'm not the just hook up type of person. I don't do the whole friends with benefits thing. Just like that's not me. That's not what I want. I don't think that truly makes really anybody happy at the end of the day, but that's not what makes me happy. So I'm not that type of person. Like I say it just like that.
Mm.
And then they're either like, yeah, that sounds great. or
For sure.
that's just how, but that's just the type of person. That's how I talk. So I say all this when you first meet me. So you know damn well on the very first date, like
Damn.
if you're looking for like
Ain't no beating around the bush.
Man, for real.
If you're looking for a FWB, all that type of stuff, that sounds great, sir. But I would not, like I said, like I would not knowingly get into that. Obviously, somebody could trick me and make it seem like, they're on the same path as me. And then, be like, oh, actually, I'm not looking for anything serious. And it's like, okay, well, you know damn well I was, though.
But can that be just not attractive to the person no more, or not necessarily interested, not attractive, but not interested in the person, because now you have that time. So in the beginning, when like Josh was saying, like the wording could be off, but we're going to use this because 90% of men uses this. Well, let's just see where it goes, right? And so if you're saying that, I think men are saying that to be genuine at times, like for real, like you're cool, like you legit, you solid, you pretty. Let's just see where it goes. And then I feel like, and we talked about this too.
Yeah.
I feel like if women didn't necessarily like agree with that, then why do we open our legs? And this is generally speaking, because if we open our legs, then you're allowing me to be like, okay, well, this is cool. Let's go out to eat. Let's go out. You know what I'm saying? Let's build. But then all of a sudden, if I say, well, I'm not interested, but now the blame is on me because I didn't express what I wanted in the beginning. I just didn't know what it would be later.
No, I totally understand that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. Like, obviously, you can get to a point. I mean, that's why it's dating. You're getting to know somebody. But the thing that I've always had a huge question. I was actually talking to a couple of people about this yesterday, and you and I talked a little bit about this the last time we saw each other. So my big question then is for guys, like how you were just talking about, like the whole like sex thing. Are you guys saying then don't have sex with you guys then at all? Like,
no.
Absolutely. That's absolutely what we're not saying.
If you do, you're damned if you don't. So it's like, are you saying, okay, I'm interested in him, don't fuck him? Like, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, so I can go first. So we're not saying that. I think as women, y'all make emotional decisions, right? And then after you make this emotional decision, you wake up and you look back on it. And instead of putting the blame on yourselves, you blame us for an emotional decision you made based on we were attractive, based on what you heard from our conversation. Something made you emotionally attached for us to be able to sleep with you, right? Now, with that being said, you have to take full responsibility for that. You can't blame me. If you allow me to sleep with you, that is 100% a choice you made to open your legs. I didn't force you. I didn't put a gun to your head. I didn't make you do anything. That is something you did. Now, after you make that decision, don't wake up or the next day or get a text, man, like you tricked me. I didn't trick you. You, as a grown person, knew what you were doing. So my thing is take accountability. Say, okay, I did it. It was bad. It wasn't. I should never done it. I was emotionally tied to the way he looked. I was mostly tied, or I was attracted to the way he looked, or what he said, or conversation went, or that's just how the night went. But you have to take full accountability of your actions because that man didn't force you to do that. Now, did he take it? Yes. You give it to us, most likely we're going to take it. Most of the time, we speaking like if you're single and you're in that dating life, we're going to take it. But if we take it, don't get mad at us for taking it. You open the door. You open that opportunity for us to take it. So I just think women have to take accountability. Now, if you're the type to say, listen, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that part of it because I know how I am emotionally, or it's going to lead down another road. Then as a man, we got to respect it, right? But don't give it to us and then the next day say it's our fault. That's how I see it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not blaming guys whatsoever. I mean, obviously, like you said, if you're gonna give it, you guys are 9 out of 10 times probably gonna take it. But I think what I was saying was what I'm most confused about is like, okay, so when you're dating somebody then, and if you are serious about them, maybe you don't really know if they're serious about you. Are you supposed to just hold off on that? Because I feel like a lot of the times, like you and I were talking about a bunch too, you go into a situation with the guy and you're like, okay, he does really like me. He is getting serious about me. But then you get to that point and it's just like, okay, well, this isn't really feeling the same anymore. Like, I'm again not putting blame on him, but it's kind of like, to me that's like a gray area where it's just like when you and I were last talking about it, you were kind of just like, you're supposed to hold off, but then it's like, okay, but how do you know if he's serious about you or not? That's what I'm saying. Like, do you just not at all?
Yeah,
That's
I mean, to
confusing.
that point, I feel like at some point, like when it comes to like, so our last episode with us with the base, we were just talking about like standards. Josh brought up standards when it comes to his standards when it comes to a woman and things like that. And I feel like at the end of the day, it's like you would hold off as long as they're still there trying to, they're still trying to be with you, because at the end of the day, we're going to get confused on what's manipulation, what's persuading, what do we actually want, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, because one thing about sex, sometimes it makes you feel like you actually like the person too. Sometimes, like you probably have a great connection with a person, and then y'all two have sex together. That's an emotional connection that you guys just shared, and then now it feels like, wow, this is crazy. But I think this is the biggest problem though, and this is how you would know. So if you guys are dating and you're pretty much doing everything like husband and wife, right? Or, 15, 20-year boyfriend, girlfriend, right? You guys are doing everything like this. What happens is you have the men, they get comfortable with how it currently is. Okay, nothing more, nothing less. I'll meet you here, meet me there. Let's go out to eat. I'm going out of town. All right, see you when I see you, right? That's comfortable. But the moment you start acting as if we're in a relationship now without discussion, whoa, this is something I don't want, because I didn't know it would be this way and things like that. I got to get rid of that fool, or I got to get rid of that girl ASAP, because I'm like, whoa, you don't want the real thing. You just want to pretend, and that's kind of how you would know based off of your question. Like, damn, how would we know? But if you never give it up and they're still like pushing to take you out, they're still pushing, they're respecting you. Like, if every night they said, please, let me just come in. Let me come in tonight. You didn't let me last night. What about tomorrow? Can I come in? Like, bro, you reaching.
Please let me come in tonight.
Wow.
Tomorrow. You gonna say something?
Oh my God. See, I feel like I hear like such conflicting sides of things. Like, I'll hear like conversations like this, and then I'm always so interested to hear like some women's point of view. Like, for instance, we've worked trips with like some females that have like such different views
Yep.
on like relationship stuff as me, and I'll just be like, well, I don't care about that, or that's
Yeah.
about, or they'll be like, you gotta make him do this, and you gotta make sure he's spending this on you and this, and I'm like, but I don't care about that though. I just want to know if people are genuine or not. Like, I don't want to feel like I have to play games with somebody, like, because I don't play games with people. So I feel like that's where it's like,
So not to cut you off, Clarissa. So now we talking about manipulative. As the woman, is she manipulating like the male side of it? Now, is she doing the things that they say guys do to women? Oh, you got to get this from him. You got to do this before he can get this. So they're playing that same game that they say men play, right? So to piggyback on set a little bit. Now, when that thing, so men are simple, and I think women overcomplicate it. Men are simple, right?
see, I agree and I disagree.
But to this simple to this fact, they date a woman, you would honestly know if he's feeling you. It's not going to take a whole bunch to be like, is he feeling me? Is he not? He will show you through his actions, right? Like it's about you. Everything is about you. He wants to be with you, regardless if he's sleeping with you or not. Say you're not sleeping together. He is still pushing that line to take you out, see you, be around you, communicate, right? So as a male, we're simple in that form when it comes to that. So I just think now for women, I can't answer that question. When do y'all feel, and you can answer it, when do y'all feel he's serious about you? Like what clicks for y'all?
I would feel like if he actually talks about it, because for instance, I hear that all the time, like, oh yeah, if if he's showing you this and he's showing you that actions and all that. I can only speak to my experience. I've had that where he's doing all the right things, he's showing all the right stuff, but then we'll still come around like full circle and be like, but I'm not ready for this. And you're like, well, we've already been doing this for months now. Like, you've been courting me, you've been showing me all this stuff through your actions, and then now it's like slowly trickling off. So like for me specifically, that wouldn't even fully show me, or like not show me, but like let me know for sure. I feel like unless I actually hear it out of your mouth accompanied with the actions, I would just feel like you're just doing it just to do it. But that's just
That
from
makes
my
sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Because like for instance, like with the situation I just went through that Cedric knows like every single freaking detail about. I literally dated this guy for 6 months, and again, he did all the right stuff. Like, and to make matters even more funny, which we didn't even know till after our first date, he's basically my neighbor. He literally lived down the street from me. So saw we saw each other a lot. He took me out on dates. He like took me out on dates, like things that I've like never even done before. We also like just like lounged around, did nothing, but like it was great for like 4 months. And then like the last 2 months, slowly just things were just making me be like, maybe he's not all that into it. Maybe he's this. And it got to the point where I had to bring it up. I had to be the one to be like, okay, what's going on? Cause like this doesn't feel right. Like X, Y, and Z, like I'm trying to make this story as short as possible because it's honestly a very long story. But it angered me that I had to be the one to bring it up, because once I brought it up and we actually had that conversation, it was like, okay, so if I didn't bring this up at all, you were just gonna keep coasting along and getting all the benefits of this. It took me having to literally put it in front of your face and be like, what is this? What's going on? For you to then be like, oh yeah, I actually just feel like I just need to be alone right now. I don't think I'm emotionally ready for like having another person under me and this and just all this stuff, where to me, again, I can obviously take responsibility for myself, but then I'm also just like, okay, well then why did you date me for 6 months? Why did it have to get to the point where I had to bring it up for this to, fizzle out and end? So
Yeah.
So do you feel that things have changed when you started asking him, what is this? Or what are we doing? Or, hey, you know that.
Changing when I said that?
Do you feel that it kind of started changing as far as like, okay, we need to talk? What is it? You know, because we had many conversations about this, even with when it came to just conversing on, hey, what are we now? You know, hey, you know, because he has not brought it up. As a man who's expressing his interest in you, he has not brought it up, and so now you're curious. What's going on? Do you feel things changed after that kind of?
What do you mean? Like, did they change after I brought it up or once I started feeling that way?
After brought it up, bringing it up.
I brought it up. We ended things.
Right away?
That's my point. Like, once, like, we had that conversation because I brought it up. Because, like, like, that weekend specifically, he just moved, like, way weird, like, something that I never experienced before. So I spoke on it. Like, I finally was like, yeah, no, like, this isn't normal. This is not okay.
And that was not to cut you off, was that your first time talking about commitment though?
No, not like that was the first time where something had made me angry, like for how he was moving that weekend and just like how he was acting in general. And so then I was finally like, okay, I can't put off this conversation any longer. So that's when I brought it to his attention. And then that's when he said all that. My point though is that we've had like serious conversations, like even 1 month, 2 months in of us like talking and dealing with each other. And now this is like at 6 months now but like I said, it was like the last 2 months where things started like feeling really, really different for me. But I just kept like putting it off. But then finally, like that weekend, obviously I was like, okay, I can't put this off anymore. So then when I did bring it up, that's when he was like, oh yeah, things have been feeling a little bit different too. I just feel like I just want to be by myself. I feel like I can't worry about somebody else right now. Like that whole thing. But like I was saying, when I was telling Cedric about it, it was just like, okay, so if I never would have brought this up, like, were you just going to keep like going with the motions and keep just like,
was.
yeah,
keep coasting for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what pisses me off because it's like, why do I have to be? I feel like a lot of the times, which I've told you before, I always have to end up being the one that like has to bring up these serious conversations. And it honestly pisses me off at this point because it makes me feel like a man. Like it really does. Like it pisses me off because it's like, why do I always have to be the one to like step up and have like these serious conversations? And it like, why is it always like that? It's always me, like always. And so that's just irritating. Maybe that's just a me problem, but like I said, it makes me feel like I'm growing a set of balls every time I have to do that.
They're dropping a little every time.
Yeah,
and
I do.
I could agree. I could agree your frustration with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Time.
Yeah, I agree with your frustration. Speaking on the man part, yeah, like we as men, we do that, especially if we're in a comfortable situation and we like our situation. Instead of put a title on it and naming it, we're gonna ride this coaster, right? And then the women comes to us and be like, "So what is this?" And they have to feel like the men when they do that because as men, most men is gonna ride it and be comfortable instead of stepping up to the plate saying, "No, listen, this is what I want. I want you, so let's do that." So I can understand your point from that, like.
And that's why I'm off on having that conversation for so long because it was pissing me off that I even had to bring it up. Like, obviously, like looking back now, I'm like, God damn, I should have brought it up when I first started feeling like that. But it was, I think I even told you, Cedric, I'm like, it pisses me off that I even have to be the one to bring this up. Like, why do I have to be the one to bring this up? But I remember it was probably like back in December or something like that. I think it was like when I first was talking to you about this, that you had made this comment when we were all talking. I forgot. It was one of the girls we were working with. And you were like, he's not going to let you go. He's not going to let you go. Not on his own. Like not without you bringing it up. And do you remember when you kept,
I remember that.
I was like, what the fuck do you mean?
We ain't gonna let go.
I was like, the hell you were like, no, he's not. And I'm like, still to this day, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like,
it's crazy. Hey, and I've been spitting game to it. And it was this one time I had to tell her, I said, look, and I had to catch myself in mid, like of me talking. I was like, look, and I said, never mind. Forget
yeah.
it.
Off
She
that.
said, "Wait, what was you gonna say?" For 3 whole days, she's asking, "What was you gonna say?"
So can you tell me what you were gonna say last night?
I was like, "No, I can't." But I had to tell her later. So the crazy part is, and so the next time we saw each other, that's when it happened, right? And I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" I'm like, "Yo, we need to talk ASAP." Like,
That first thing I told you when you got on the plane, I was like, "Oh, we have to catch up, but not right now because I'm gonna cry if I talk about it right now. We'll talk about it later."
yep. I remember that, and I was like, and then I was able to tell her, what I was gonna say, because sometimes when you hear things in the midst of a situation, it shapes your thinking too. Like it shapes your reaction, it shapes your behavior. Now you're on the defense of it, and it's kind of like you won't even believe me either. Like sometimes you can be in a situation where you love this person so much that you won't believe anything that somebody else has to say because it could come off as hate. It could come off as like, nah, you just saying this and saying that. So I said, look, I can't say it now. Cause we was actually in like a really good debate at that time too. So like we going back and forth. And then I think we were with somebody else. What was her name? I forgot her dang name.
I literally have it on
You know her nephew.
trip like beginning of last month.
Yes. Dang.
But yeah, it was the girl we were talking with literally the whole night.
The whole night. It was insane.
Got to record the video. We were talking for so long.
Hey,
but
I should have started the podcast with that one.
We talked about a lot of stuff. But yeah, that was the night where you were like, he's not gonna stop. He's not. Not unless you end it or you break it up. And I was like, what do you mean he's not? Like,
yep.
I still didn't even understand what you meant, like when you were talking about it. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like,
so I got a question for the fellas though. So like before you got on, Clarissa, I said, look, I'm gonna bring up this topic, but let me just ask you all, because you helped me to understand that there's times where I've manipulated women. I didn't really, I was just thinking like, nah, I'm just being cool, I'm being nice. So I asked him, I said, bro, like, do y'all think that we're really like manipulating women into what we want only? And pretty much everybody kind of laughed, right? It was but it made me think. So my question for the fellas, man, at what point does it come manipulation, right? When you feel that you want a person, like you feel that you're attracted to this person, like at what point do you feel that is manipulation when dating?
I feel like once you realize you're not really gonna be with this person, like, oh dang, I don't really see myself with this person like forever. So maybe that's when the manipulation starts kicking in. Like,
but you want
to
But I want my ice cream and cake too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
but it's still manipulation though, because just like you said, you know damn well you don't want to be with that person, but you absolutely love getting the benefits of them. You think you get sex from them, you get time, you get energy, but you know damn well that you don't want to actually be with them, but you know that they want something else, but you're going to keep doing what you got to do to keep getting that though.
And why you guys can't stay? With that being said, why you can't stay? I mean, like, why do you choose to stay? Like, what makes you not want to leave?
The comfortability, the easy access. To just name a couple of things.
And you're speaking and I said?
Yeah. So to the men,
so I think this too though. And maybe I can speak on it a little bit, but I think this as well. As men, like, we look at it as, man, like, okay, say I'm getting all these benefits from her, right? But I'm not in a space to settle down with her, but I know she good. She a good woman. Like, I can see myself with her. So I'm gonna manipulate her to keep her around while I do other stupid shit. Right? It's wrong. It's wrong because you should manipulate. But in his mind, he's thinking of as, listen, all right, she cool. This could really work. But in this moment, I'm not ready for that. But I'm gonna keep her on the string and keep her around because I know when I'm ready, this is what I want to fall back on.
But that's the problem.
And that's the problem. And you're right, it's not right. But in the man's mindset, he's thinking of it as that way, right? So it doesn't come off of him to him as, oh, it's so wrong. It's like, no, I want this, but in this moment, I want you to stay around. I'm gonna do the little things to keep you around. But at the end of the day, when I need you, I want to be able to come back to this.
Yeah. And even though, like you said, like, oh, in a man's mindset, yeah, I'm not saying that a lot of people are intentionally in their mind going, yup, I'm going to manipulate her.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, it still is, whether you intended to or not. Because the same could be said, okay, let's even have a great advantage with, you know, our bodies, our looks, that, you know, we can, you know, use that to our advantage. So to go with that, you could also use your looks to manipulate a dude. You could use your body to manipulate a guy. You could, you know, subconsciously, unintentionally, if you know you're already an attractive person and you know you can use this and use that, if you're trying to gain like materialistic things from a guy, you could absolutely do that. Again, it's still wrong. It's still bad. So that's not just to say, oh, just men, you know, manipulate women. No, women can manipulate too, but we do it in different ways.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So with that being said, and through your experience, now that if you're dating or when you date, how do you look at it? How do you look at the dating scene from that experience you went through?
I'm kind of grossed out now, but
She just said it earlier. Yeah, she gets straight to the point, Josh.
No. She got straight to the point with the relationship that went 6 months. But now that she went through that, what is her outlook now?
Well, obviously I still have my same like beliefs, my same like core values. Like that doesn't change. Like, yeah, I was sad about it, but I was sad about it for like, you know, a few days. And then after that, I'm just like, okay, there's no reason to be sad anymore. He clearly just wasn't the one for me. Like, that's okay. My outlook on dating, I really do hate dating. Dating does suck. It is gross. And I feel like it's hard for me because, again, like I said, I know what I want. I'm very open and vocal about what I want. I always say I don't false advertise. I feel like guys false advertise to me. So it's kind of hard because I feel like it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, but are you really that type of person though? Are you just going to try to get like these benefits out of me? And then, you know, like that's the part that's like frustrating for me is like weeding out
The fake.
because I'm like, I just don't have energy for that. I don't.
So question, do you do the whole dating apps and dating websites things, that type of thing?
I was like hardcore against them. And then I kind of like dabbled in it, but I hate that too. So
I hate it. I think that's a bunch of.
I again, just me personally, I feel like people view those as like a hookup space. And I don't ever want to be like portrayed like, again, I don't know what I look like to other people. I don't know what they think of me when they see me when I'm working or if I'm going grocery shopping or just the blank look on my face. I don't know what people like or what guys perceive me as when they look at me or when they meet me and things like that. But I just feel like just dating apps for some reason, I just feel like they have just like this culture of like hooking up. And I'm like, I don't ever want to be perceived as like that person that's like just out here like looking for a hookup. Because that's not me. I think that shit's stupid. Like that's
a lot of people got married from them dating apps.
MySpace.
Her speaking on the apps, her speaking on like the dating apps, I just think like you're giving me the answer to the test so I can play this role, right? You're putting on your dating app what you like to do, your hobbies. I'm reading this off the app, and I can play the role. Like I like these things too, to manipulate her. Like, oh, I know what you like. So she just gave me the answers to the test. So I never really believed in apps. It works for some people.
We played a role in real life.
For sure.
We played a role. Especially me personally. Like I was so bad, bro. Like what I could sit down and every version would be me though. Like if I'm sitting down with a ratchet chick, I can be ratchet too. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in this stuff. If I sat down with a
My
classy
problem is
chick,
that I feel
That's
like
real, bro. That's facts.
No.
I'm scared that
They're all
people like
different
if they
characters.
see my profile, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, like I want to hook up with her. Like that's what I don't want.
nah, that's only if you allow them to, though.
Yeah, but like said, you're right. We can play 9 characters. Tone and Boom always joking about the Doctor and all these roles. You're right. We can adapt. And no, you know how you and Tone got this joke. Yeah. Like for me, so I agree with you. Said I played that role to the fullest. Like I can adapt to that situation right there on the spot. Like what you need me to be, I can be it and play the role. So I get it. But now older and more mature, and you look on it, like we do as men, we do manipulate the situation for sure in our favor, always. And I just think, but now with this dating thing is, I just think it's getting worse because now I don't think dating is dating. I think dating is hooking up.
It is.
Yes, that's it. That's all it is,
And
really.
why it's hard, and that's why it's hard because, like I said, I feel like it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, are you actually trying to date me, or are you just trying to have sex with me? Like, and yeah, I was so against it. My like best friend in the entire world, he like was the one like trying to like push me to get on them, but it's just hard too because I'm like I work all the time, so I don't just like meet people organically. And also too, I'm like, even if I am out with like friends and stuff like that, grocery shopping, going to grab my mail, whatever the hell, people do not talk to me. Like,
hey guys, you know why they don't talk to her?
Why?
Because she walk like this.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
No.
Yeah.
With him, you and the whole crew, they were trying to copy my walk. Because they say I walk like I'm walking down a runway. Like,
hey, don't call her while she walking too. You'll be like this. You be like, Clarissa, it's this way. She be like, yo, you on the runway for real. She running away.
Red carpet is out, boy.
She on the runway running away. You know what I'm talking about? It's crazy. But look, the dating world. So look, this is my advice. You know, I feel that hop on it. Hop on a dating app, man. See what it's about. You know, check it out. You know, just
how many perverts and pedophiles.
I mean,
perverts in real life.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying,
filming you with their phone.
You're right, but I'm saying you're now you're putting yourself in this pond, in this river, in this ocean of where they all gather. Yeah, you might run into them on the street. Yeah, it happens all the time, but you're putting yourself in a situation now where the percentages are high that they're in there.
Nah.
Well, I mean, if she keeps on this course, if she's saying she's working too much and she really ain't got no social life like that, like as much as she wants, I guess, then she would have to get on the dating apps to just make
the right one. The right patience is key.
That's kind of my point too. Like I work so much not because I want to, but because I have to. Like I have to work a bunch. Like it's just me. I live on my own. Nobody helps me with money. I fully support myself. I'm 27 and I live on my own. So yeah, I live in the Bay Area. I have to. I do. So I'm like, I have to, but like I said, I'm like, even like, you know, you already know, Cedric, like people that aren't in this industry, I feel like they have like this weird like fantasy or like stereotype of like flight attendants. Like, oh, like I've heard so many times like, oh, I bet you get hit on all the time when you're working and talked to all the time. I'm like, no, I couldn't even tell you a time where that's happened. Like that doesn't happen, at least not to me. Like that literally does not happen. Like it just doesn't. I don't get approached. I don't get talked to. I don't get hit on. Like that's not a thing. Like at least not with me. Like I couldn't even actually tell you the last time somebody hit on me. Like that's just not
That's
Some-
crazy
So-
to hear. That
So
really is
wait,
crazy to
wait,
hear.
wait,
It's,
wait, wait.
it's
So the
really, it's, but that's the thing. Like, that's my reality. That's my
So-
reality. Like, it does not happen. It just does not happen. So,
So wait,
I
to
don't know.
answer that question, is so if a guy do hit on you, are you open to that? Are you know, I'm gonna say it. Are you stuck up? Do you believe you're stuck up, or is just the way you carry yourself, you just think
No, I don't think I am. What I have heard, like from like guy friends and stuff like that, they say like when I'm not smiling, I look intimidating. So people just don't like go randomly like talk to me and things like that. Like when I'm just not smiling, like when I'm in the zone, like when I'm walking through the airport, I'm like going grocery shopping or getting gas and stuff. My face is just
well
like
that's probably for boys because regardless of how you look, a real man, if he wants to approach you and talk to you, he's gonna approach and talk to you. So
For sure.
that's for boys
happen.
that's doing that. So but that's crazy to hear. So like
Yeah.
now that you're navigating this dating life, like you said, is weird, is disgusting in its way. Like, do you ever get down on yourself and depressed? Like, maybe I'm not going to find what I'm looking for.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, she said it last time.
All the time. Remember when
Don't
I
give
said
up the
to you,
faith.
I was
That's gonna happen. I don't think it ever happened. I said,
I really don't.
That's not
I'm
true.
not trying to be that type of negative person, but I'm just like, yeah, I don't think it is. I just think maybe it's not in the cards for me. Like maybe it's just not. Like that's what's crazy. I'm just, yeah, I don't know. I
Well,
just
get that out
like,
your mental. Get that out your
Yeah,
mental.
yeah, get that out.
He's
It's
focusing on
patient
you. He's focusing on you, and the right thing will definitely come along.
most
maybe
definitely,
I'll see.
for sure. Patience. Like,
Yep.
definitely. And so, Clarissa, we close this thing. What can you share
Mm-hmm.
based off your experience, though? Like, what can you share or give advice for anybody who's tuning in and watching and stuff? In the dating realm, right? So you already know it's that sometimes it feels like it'll never happen, or I hate that I've experienced this. Why you didn't tell me this in the beginning? Like with all of that, how can you close us out with some kind of advice or something?
I would say for me, like I was speaking about earlier, regardless of like all the negative stuff, I feel like one thing that I will still continue to do, like if and when I do start dating again, I'm not right now, but if and when I do start dating again, I feel like it's really important to still stick to exactly what, like, say what you mean what you say right from the go. That's very important because, like I said, that's something I do, regardless if they're not meant for me or made for me. That's okay. But at least I know, like, again, I didn't false advertise. I said what I wanted and who I was. And, you know, like, for instance, like what I said to the guy, like when we were ending things out, I remember I told him, like, you know, regardless if you agree with it or not, regardless if that was your intent, at the end of the day, you still did kind of lead me on because I was very true to what I wanted and I didn't false advertise. You did. So as long as you're okay with that, then that's okay. That's you. But I'm not walking away from this film like I'm missing out on anything because I know how I was. So I would just say stay true to what you actually want. Say what you mean what you say, regardless, even if you, have to go on 10 bad dates, still always be upfront and honest, regardless if you deal with all the weirdos. Still always be honest.
I like that message. I like that message.
yeah,
Stay true to you, man. Stay true to you.
Have your standards. Have your standards.
Yep.
Always.
Mhm.
That's
Definitely.
something that no one should ever be able to take from you. Definitely
Yeah.
not.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Absolutely. Yep.
A lot of, and I appreciate that because a lot of people, a lot of women out there that's gonna listen to this can learn from that. Like,
Yeah.
can really learn from that.
Also, too, I always you know how much I'm very, very close with my dad. My dad is most important person to me in the entire world. And it's one of those things too, like when I'm like, dating a guy and things like that, it's always in the back of my mind. Always. I'm like, would I bring this guy around my dad? Because my dad is like up here. Like you gotta be like a a real special kind of person for me to even bring around him. So that's like really, really important for me too. So that's stuff that I always look for because he's him. So
He's him.
he's
Defender,
him.
baby, defender.
Well, that's what's up, though. We greatly appreciate you from.
Appreciate you for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for
We
inviting
appreciate
me,
you.
guys.
Anytime. You're welcome anytime.
Anytime.
So you stay tuned. So we got more topics, Clarissa, that you definitely could be a part of and things like that. We know that you're flying and stuff, so we thank you for taking time out of your schedule. Hop on with the fellas. Appreciate you.
Appreciate
you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks you guys. It was nice meeting you all.
Likewise.
Good one.
Take
You
care.
too.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that man, look, I tell you what, for all y'all watching, tuning in, man, stop manipulating women. You know what I'm talking about?
Knock it off, man. Grow up.
For sure, man. We got to learn from our past mistakes, man, and just be upfront and honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Be upfront about it. Just be upfront. Keep it real.
Even if we know, I think the manipulation starts because when we do be upfront, they don't want what we want no more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 9 times or 8 times out of 10, like you just missing all of the good ones who was interested in you, and then you got one who's base that's over here, and it's one of them ones that's like, oh yeah, you taking one for the team tonight, and it's one of those that's like, dang, like I'm gonna have, like I could tell her up front because she down for anything, and so I think that's how like the manipulation starts because we want the person who's interested in us.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we chilling, we coasting, right? We don't want to like really have a relationship or build something because we just coasting. And the moment you start acting like you in a relationship, that's gonna be the one moment that's gonna push us away because it's like, whoa, I didn't ask for this. I told you I'm chilling. I told you I'm cool. And from a woman perspective, they're like, but we've dated for so long, or we still been going out, we still been eating, we still been having sex. And that's why I said, if that's the case, don't have sex.
Facts. It complicates everything.
It definitely does.
Complicates everything. The mind, it complicates everything. And we say, especially from the woman's side, from both sides, it complicates everything.
Every single thing.
Especially if you're already dating too. Especially if you're already dating.
So it's like we learn from it, be better, and like this, let them make a choice, vice versa.
Yeah.
You tell a person what it is, give them an opportunity to make their own choice. If they don't, choices don't align with your choices, hey, move on. Next choice.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Next one, man. Another one. We here, man. Base podcast. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all.
Like the other one.
Yes, sir.
No comment. Hit the link. Y'all wanted a guest. We brought the guest, man.
Yep.
You had the heat tonight. You had the
hit
heat.
us up if you want to be a guest, man. Just hit us up. Y'all know where to find us at. Base podcast.
And remember,
YouTube,
dope voice.
If you think that you could out debate us, hop on.
Yep.
Yeah, no matter what gender you are,
please
talk about it. Let's talk about it.
All right, through.
Look, I'm gonna say this publicly. We'll destroy y'all.
Yeah, we on your head, boy. You don't be holding back.
We'll destroy y'all.
You gonna get the full round.
Y'all lucky we ain't got the drink in our system right now. We go in.
We're a little more settled tonight, huh, boo?
All good, man. It's out, man. We out.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all.
Got it.